Welcome to True Crime Threads. Today we explore the shocking murder of a young man caught in a deadly affair with his doctor. In a small, unassuming town, a young man named Oliver found himself at a crossroads in life. Recently graduated and eager to start his career, he struggled to find work and support himself. Despite his optimistic outlook, the reality of the job market weighed heavily on him. He had applied to numerous positions, only to be met with rejection after rejection. Feeling lost and overwhelmed, he decided to visit a local clinic for a routine checkup, hoping that a clean bill of health would restore his confidence. It was there that he met Dr. Evelyn Black, a strikingly beautiful and charismatic physician known for her charm and skill. In her early 30s, Dr. Black commanded respect and admiration from her patients and colleagues alike. Her confidence radiated, drawing people to her like moths to a flame. However, beneath her polished exterior lay a complicated personal life. Recently divorced, she carried the weight of her past, searching for solace in her work. Oliver was captivated from the moment he entered her office. Her warm smile and engaging conversation made him feel at ease, a stark contrast to the anxieties that plagued him outside the clinic. As she conducted the checkup, their discussions shifted from medical concerns to more personal topics. They talked about dreams, aspirations, and the pressures of life, and Oliver found himself entranced by her insights and warmth. Dr. Black listened intently, her eyes sparkling with interest, as she encouraged him to pursue his ambitions. What began as a professional interaction quickly evolved into something more intimate. They exchanged glances that lingered just a second too long, and the playful banter between them became increasingly charged. The chemistry was undeniable, igniting a fire in Oliver that he hadn't felt before. Soon, their conversations began to extend beyond the confines of the clinic, evolving into late-night texts and secret meetings at local cafes. As their connection deepened, Oliver felt an intoxicating sense of freedom. He was drawn to Dr. Black's magnetic personality and the sense of adventure she introduced into his mundane life. The allure of the forbidden only heightened the thrill, and soon Oliver was swept up in a whirlwind romance. Their relationship became a sanctuary, a world apart from the pressures and expectations of reality, one filled with passion, excitement, and the promise of love. Yet, unbeknownst to Oliver, this enchanting connection was set against a backdrop of danger and deception that would soon unravel their lives. As weeks turned into months, Oliver and Dr. Black's clandestine relationship flourished, creating a hidden world of passion that both exhilarated and terrified him. They met in secluded spots, away from prying eyes, savoring every stolen moment. Their rendezvous often took place in the dimly lit corners of a local diner or the quiet solitude of a park after sunset, where they could speak freely, enveloped in their bubble of secrecy. Oliver felt alive for the first time, his heart racing at the thought of each encounter. In Dr. Black, he found a mentor and lover, someone who ignited a spark he never knew existed. But as their affair deepened, so did the shadows lurking at the edges of their happiness. Oliver began to notice subtle changes in Dr. Black's demeanor. She was often preoccupied, distracted by unspoken worries that clouded her eyes. Late-night phone calls would interrupt their intimate moments, leaving Oliver feeling isolated and anxious. He sensed a weight pressing down on her, and despite their closeness, he felt an invisible barrier growing between them. Rumors began to circulate in town, whispers of scandal that had reached the ears of both friends and acquaintances. Oliver dismissed the chatter at first, confident in the strength of their bond, but he couldn't shake the feeling that the world outside was closing in on them. He convinced himself that their love was strong enough to withstand scrutiny, yet unease gnawed at him. When Dr. Black would mention her ex-husband in passing, Oliver sensed an undercurrent of tension in her voice, a hint of unresolved pain that made him uneasy. Despite his instincts, he pushed the concerns aside, consumed by desire and the intoxicating thrill of their affair. He often fantasized about a future together, dreaming of a life where they could be open about their love. However, those fantasies felt increasingly precarious, like a house of cards that could topple at any moment. The exhilarating moments they shared were increasingly punctuated by anxiety, a dangerous game that left Oliver on edge. The inevitable confrontation came one evening when Oliver's phone buzzed with an anonymous message that shattered the facade they had built. The message detailed their secret affair, complete with time-stamped photographs that left little to the imagination. Panic surged through him as the realization hit someone was watching, and their world was on the brink of collapse. In that instant, the excitement of their romance turned into a chilling reality, as Oliver faced the harrowing truth that their secret was in jeopardy. When he confronted Dr. Black about the message, her reaction was alarmingly defensive, leaving him more confused than ever. The delicate balance of their relationship was about to unravel, plunging them both into a maelstrom of chaos and danger. One fateful evening, Oliver's life took a dramatic turn as he sat alone in his dimly lit apartment, anxiety gnawing at him. The anonymous message had consumed his thoughts, and he could hardly concentrate on anything else. The image of the text replayed in his mind, each word feeling like a dagger. It revealed explicit details of his affair with Dr. Black, hinting that someone had been observing their every move. The thought of being exposed sent waves of fear coursing through him, each pulse echoing the realization that their secret was on the brink of collapse. Desperate for answers, Oliver reached for his phone, hesitating before dialing Dr. Black's number. When she answered, her voice was smooth and soothing, but he could detect a tremor beneath her calm facade. He explained the situation, his heart pounding as he spoke. To his relief, she reassured him, dismissing the message as a hoax, a cruel joke played by someone who had no idea of the depths of their relationship. Dr. Black insisted that they were safe and that no one could ever truly understand their bond. Yet, as he hung up, unease settled in his stomach. Something felt off. As the days went by, Oliver's unease transformed into paranoia. He began to notice subtle changes in Dr. Black's behavior. Their once passionate meetings grew more strained. She would often glance over her shoulder as they walked, her eyes scanning the environment for potential onlookers. The carefree banter that had once flowed effortlessly between them became stilted and awkward. Oliver found himself questioning her trustworthiness, wondering if she was truly as committed to him as he was to her. One evening, he arrived at their usual rendezvous point, a secluded park illuminated by soft moonlight. As he approached, a chill ran down his spine when he spotted a familiar car parked nearby. His heart raced as he recognized it his best friend, Alex's vehicle. Panic gripped him. The last thing he wanted was for Alex to find out about his secret. He tried to ignore the knot forming in his stomach and approached the meeting spot, hoping to find solace in Dr. Black's embrace. Instead, he was met with tension. Dr. Black appeared frazzled, her expression a mix of fear and anger. She insisted they couldn't meet there anymore. The risk was too great. Oliver's heart sank as he realized that their world, once filled with passion and excitement, was now shrouded in danger. A suffocating weight of uncertainty settled over him, and he felt a profound sense of loss for the love story they had started to build. The thrill of their romance had morphed into a treacherous game, one that threatened to consume them both as the shadows of their past loomed ever larger. The following day, Oliver's worst fears materialized as the whispers of his affair with Dr. Black echoed through the town. He arrived at his part-time job at a local bookstore, only to find his co-workers exchanging furtive glances and murmuring behind closed doors. The air felt thick with tension, and Oliver could sense the judgment in their eyes. A wave of humiliation washed over him as he overheard snippets of conversation. Words like scandal and shame floated through the air, cutting deep. He had always prided himself on being a stand-up guy, and now he felt as though the very ground beneath him was crumbling. The fallout was swift and brutal. News traveled fast in a small town, and before long, the intimate details of his relationship with Dr. Black were common knowledge. He felt like a pariah, ostracized and alone. The only solace he sought was in the arms of the woman he loved. But when he reached out to her, he was met with coldness instead of comfort. Dr. Black, overwhelmed by the scrutiny and fearing for her career, had decided to distance herself from him. She told him they needed to take a break to allow the dust to settle, a decision that felt like a gut punch. In the days that followed, Oliver was consumed by feelings of betrayal and heartbreak. His world, once vibrant and full of hope, now seemed bleak and empty. His best friend, Alex, who had always been a source of support, confronted him one evening. And in a mix of anger and disappointment, Alex revealed that he had seen Oliver with Dr. Black several times and felt deeply hurt that Oliver hadn't confided in him. To Alex, the secrecy felt like a profound betrayal, one that left a rift in their friendship that seemed impossible to mend. Feeling isolated, Oliver spiraled into despair. The thrill of his love affair had turned sour, and the once warm memories felt like daggers. The nights were the hardest. He lay awake, staring at the ceiling, haunted by thoughts of what had been and what could have been. The weight of loneliness bore down on him, amplifying his sense of loss. With each passing day, Oliver realized that he had not only lost Dr. Black but also the friendship he had shared with Alex. Desperate to salvage his reputation and regain some semblance of control, Oliver made the choice to confront Dr. Black one last time. He longed to understand why she had turned her back on him and to see if there was any hope left for them. But as he reached for his phone, a chilling thought crossed his mind: what if she was hiding something from him? The fear of losing her was now tangled with a deep-seated mistrust, leaving Oliver feeling more confused than ever. His heart ached with longing and uncertainty, caught in a web of emotions that felt all too overwhelming. The once bright future he envisioned had darkened into a terrifying unknown, and he had no idea how to navigate the shadows that loomed ahead. 1 week later, the small town was rocked by tragedy as news spread of Oliver's brutal murder. He was found lifeless in a deserted alley, a grim scene that shattered the already fragile community. The police were quickly on the scene, and investigators began piecing together the circumstances surrounding his death. As word spread, shock rippled through the town, leaving friends and acquaintances grappling with the horrifying reality that someone they knew had met such a violent end. The initial investigation revealed that Oliver had been attacked shortly after leaving a bar where he had sought refuge from his troubled thoughts. Eyewitnesses recalled seeing him leave, appearing anxious and agitated. Whispers of his recent scandal filled the air, and fingers began to point in every direction. It was clear that the whispers had escalated into something far more dangerous, and Oliver's secret life was suddenly under scrutiny. The police soon focused on a few key individuals who had motive to harm Oliver. Alex, still reeling from the betrayal he felt, was questioned, but his alibi was solid. He was at home with his girlfriend during the time of the murder. The investigation took a darker turn when authorities turned their attention to Dr. Black's ex-husband, a man known for his volatile temper and jealousy. Rumors began to surface about his anger over her relationships, and detectives soon discovered that he had been seen lurking near the bar that evening. As they delved deeper into Dr. Black's past, unsettling details emerged. She had been in a tumultuous relationship with her ex-husband, filled with controlling behavior and emotional manipulation. The police soon learned that after their divorce, he had become obsessed with maintaining a connection to her life. They uncovered messages from him to Dr. Black, filled with threats and accusations about her infidelities. With the weight of evidence against him mounting, the ex-husband became the prime suspect in Oliver's murder. In a shocking twist, it was revealed that Dr. Black had orchestrated the confrontation between Oliver and her ex-husband, believing it would put an end to the relentless harassment she faced. She never intended for it to escalate to violence, convinced that her ex would simply scare Oliver into leaving her alone. However, things had spiraled out of control, leading to a tragic end. The town was left in disbelief as the pieces of the puzzle fell into place. Dr. Black was arrested, her career and reputation in tatters. The public's perception of her transformed from that of a respected doctor to a woman consumed by jealousy and fear. Oliver's death became a cautionary tale about the consequences of forbidden love, betrayal, and the dark side of obsession. In the wake of this tragedy, The small community was left to grapple with the haunting memory of a life lost too soon, the heartbreaking realization that Oliver had been a victim of a perilous affair that spiraled out of control. As the investigation concluded, the impact of their choices reverberated through the town, forever changing the lives of those involved and reminding everyone of the delicate balance between passion and peril.